Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel, and this time I'm going to be teaching you on how to paint like the basics. And for that tutorial I decided to paint this painting, and this is probably not the best painting that you'll see, but for a beginner or a one-time painting, I think this painting, the demonstration that I will be doing, is kind of a good guide for you to know what techniques to use, and especially for like having the effect of water and all those stuff going here, especially this foggy thing. So yeah, I hope you like the tutorial, and if you do, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. So yeah, let's get started with the tutorial. The things you need are water tub, brushes, any size which you are comfortable with, and palette, and obviously a canvas to work on. Now first off, we are going to divide the canvas into parts which we are going to paint differently, that is sky, water, mountains and the rock. And then moving ahead, I am mixing dark green with white, just a little bit of dark green with white, tinting the green, and adding a little bit of uranium blue just to give it a turquoise feel. So I'm painting this color which I mixed right now in the middle of the two mountains, and that is the part where the sky is more dense and the fog is less visible. And moving ahead, I am using water to just dilute the color, and then I'll be adding white to it to give it a fading shade, kind of like the fog is more dense over here, so to give that effect. Moving ahead, I am mixing the same uranium blue with the dark green, and probably you can see this is already green because of the yellow color on my palette, but that is dry, that's not wet, that is dry. So I added black, and just to add shade to it, and then after adding black I tinted that down. So basically what it did was it desaturated my color, which I actually wanted. And then I am using this color to make the shadows of the mountains which are visible from the fog, and these are the two mountains which are behind. Now moving on to the water, I am adding the same turquoise blue color, but it is not desaturated, that is, I did not add black to it, I just tinted it down adding white. And then I'm adding the dark turquoise color under the mountains just to give the effect of shadows, and I'm just mixing the shades of the turquoise color with the lighter and the darker shades of it, just to give it a more natural look. And once the base is ready for water, I would let it dry so that the next layer does not get mixed with the base, and that is what I did with the mountains above. I painted and I let them dry, and now I took white color and just added a little bit of water, diluted it, and it's kind of a whitewash which I am doing on the it's kind of a whitewash that I'm doing on the mountains, so that it looks that they are behind the dense fog that I was talking about. So for this technique I used hard brush, and I would prefer using hard brush, and I always prefer using hard brushes over soft brushes, because these brushes do give the texture to the layers that you add, and that is what is actually important when you add a layer. Like for example, here I am adding a little bit fog over the mountains, but apart from that I did add a little bit of clouds and spacing between the fog, so that texture was easily achievable using hard brushes. I'm not saying that this thing cannot be done with any other brush, but this is what I would prefer. Now I took again the uranium blue and I just added this to the trees over the hills in front of the mountains. I'm just making the base right now. I'm just painting the base right now, and once I add the base, I add black color to it when it is wet so that the blue and the black get mixed. Now moving on to water, it is really important to see where the waves of the water is in the picture that you're painting. Now while painting the ripples in the water, basically you have to draw small lines of two shades that is going to be the highlights and the shadow of the ripples of the water. So keeping that in mind, always make sure that the water which has to look far away from the view that you are looking at, you have to draw really short lines as compared to the lines that you have to draw on the water which is near to you in the view. As you can see, what I'm doing here is I painted shadows first and then I added highlights just above them, and I also added only highlights in the middle portion of the water because there were no shadow forming. I'm using my finger just to make sure that the highlights are not purely white, because it does have to look like it is the part of the painting. Now moving on to the rock, I'm just painting it all black because it is the silhouettes of the rock, and just adding the light turquoise color, or you can say aqua blue, to it just to add a little bit of highlights, because obviously to give some depth. And I'm just adding in some detail to the part where the light is more hitting to the rock, and then in the end I'm adding a little plant growing on the rock where a little puddle is formed. Now this is kind of an important part for the painting itself, because just apart from the scenery you are looking at, it does add a little bit of more detail to it, more life to it, not just the stillness. For this, what I did was just took the smallest brush, size 0, and I randomly waved my brush over the canvas, making branches. I did not had a pattern to draw these. As you saw, I just made some mess in 2 or 3 parts, and then I added dabs of paint of black, which resembles small leaves, dried leaves, falling leaves, which are not falling obviously over here, but they might fall, and just it's and bits over there. These are the details that can be modified by you the way you want. There is no particular method to paint these branches and tree, and to be honest, the best part about painting nature is that it is not certain. There's no regular pattern that you have to follow. And that's it for the video. I hope that it helped you. I did not made a specific painting to demonstrate specific skills, but this is the basics for the basic painting that you need to know. If you like the tutorial or you want tutorial on other stuff, do let me know. I would really like to make videos on that. If you have some other ideas apart from tutorial, like whatever you have in your mind, just comment down below and I would definitely get to you. Yeah, don't forget to subscribe for more art videos, tutorials and all other stuff that you need to know. You might need to know maybe, and that's it. Also, I do have some other art lessons. They are in a playlist that I have made, and I'll be mentioning it in the corner, so you can go and you can check those lessons if you want to, if you feel that it would help you. They are usually ignored when you are a starter and you do not go to an art school and you have to learn from your own experience. I think it might help you because that is what I learned from my experience with painting and experimenting. So yeah, that's it. Bye.